Are you kidding me? Cleveland Browns, 2017 winners over the Chicago Bears at home, 9-5 on the season, number one in the wild card standings, and still hold a one-game lead. Your post-game Victory Monday, Locked On Browns, starts now.
You are Locked On Browns, your daily Cleveland Browns podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends, your daily delivery of all things Dog Pound LGB on the LOB, the Locked On Browns podcast, brought to you the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Your host, Jeff Lloyd, and I appreciate each and every one of you make Locked On Browns your first listen every single day. If you ain't part of the everyday crowd, well, there's no better time than now. So get on the bus, Gus, and subscribe to Locked On Browns YouTube channel. Of course, the show is always available. It's always free wherever you get your podcasts. This episode is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs. They help you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL. That's linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. The Cleveland Browns going into the fourth quarter, trailing the Chicago Bears 17-7. Chip away. Of course, the defense, we'll get to that. Chip away. 17-10. Joey Flacco, 17-17. Defense again. Joey Flacco again. D-Hop. 20-17. D'Anthony Bell. Brown's second interception on a Hail Mary to close out a half, first half, second half. Cleveland Browns 9-5, 2-game winning streak, 2 games in a row, back-to-back at home. Take care of the Bears, hold and still control their own destiny. 9-5, the number one wild card seed in the American Football Conference. 1-game lead for the time being as the rest of these 7-win teams play. We know the Bengals won. We certainly know the Colts won yesterday. But for the right now, the Cleveland Browns sitting right where they want to be. And let's be honest. I'd say first half into the third quarter, almost all through the third quarter, it was our biggest fears about bringing in this 38-year-old quarterback to finish off whatever the 2023 season will be. And Joe, obviously, first interception led to a Bears touchdown. Gave the ball to them at the 1. Second interception, pick 6 to the house. All of a sudden, it's 14-7. Another take opportunity of a muff punt. Joe Flacco, a little late on the ball. Safety peels backs, takes away a touchdown. Joe Flacco, 3 interceptions. And you had to think at that point, hey, he's 38. We had to expect a day like this was coming. And then the guy digs in deeper and puts together 3 phenomenal drives, getting the ball everywhere it needed to be. David Njoku, 100-yard day and a touchdown. Amari Cooper, 100-yard day and a touchdown. Goodwin, if you make one play this entire season, Goodwin, that was the play. 50-something yards, obviously a huge momentum boost at the time. And the Cleveland Browns find a way to close it out. And so many injuries for this team. But the mantra, 1-0, win the week, 1-0 for the week. And it may sound corny sometimes, and it may sound, a little too wholesome at times. But when you want to know what, if it's working, who the heck cares? This team just keeps going along like the little engine that could. It's got a lot of talent. It's got a lot of locomotion, but they do not let anything distract them. They do not let anything get in their way. Tunnel vision to what their vision is, to what their path is. And again, they get there today. Missing all 3 of your starting safeties? Who cares? Missing big part of your defensive, line rotation? Who cares? We'll be okay. Anthony Walker, pregame warmups, no go. Who cares? Joe Bitonio leaves the game early. Who cares? You're playing with offensive tackle 4 and 5. Who cares? You start running back, not here. Your fourth quarterback for the season. They just don't care. They play 53 as one each and every week. And that's what makes this team so special to watch, so special to cheer for. It makes it so easy to want to celebrate their success with them because this team just busts their butt each and every day. We all sit here with our hands over our face Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. What's coming next? Who's hurt? Who's out? What's going on? This team sticks to their path. Andrew Berry, an incredible job filling in holes. You talk about some of the guys they have brought in to fill in for some of the guys they've lost. You start with a Joe Flacco. You bring in a veteran like a Deron Harmon who comes in playing with the Anthony Bell, primarily a special teamer, playing with Ronnie Hickman, first real legitimate action in the NFL. And Ronnie Hickman looked pretty good. He looked really, really good. And all the other moves his team has made, churning out offensive linemen, finding guys here, finding guys there. And this team just continues to do it. This is what sports is all about. This is why we watch sports. This is why we are obsessed with sports. You love these feel-good moments. You love these feel-good teams that you just have to sit down and admire the way they're structured, the way they do things, the effort they give. And that is how this team has put it together to be 9-5, fourth quarterback of the season. Dorian Thompson sneaks in today for a little look and a nice little play for himself. Don't run the ball. Oh, well, who cares? What do we say? I don't want to commit to the run if it's not working. Who cares? If you can't run the ball, it doesn't matter how many times you run it. Just eventually realize it's not working and do what you can control. Do what you think you have some control over. And obviously that was big old number 15, the South Jersey boy, Joe Flacco. When you need a dirty job done, you call in a Jersey boy. Joe Flacco's second consecutive game for the Cleveland Browns, over 300 yards, digs himself into a hole. And we're going to expand on this, but this was truly a testament of how a team is built. When we saw Joe Flacco in that locker room talking about how he felt like a 10-year-old kid again, how his passion for the game was reborn. There's a bunch of kids flying around. You got Diabate, all of these guys who are supposed to be so far down the totem pole that we're never supposed to see him in a big situation. Well, this is the way the NFL works, and sometimes it can be cruel. And everybody's got to be forced to step up and join up to a level that they've not been accustomed to yet. But when your number is called, you're expected to perform. And this team keeps finding it each and every week. Cleveland Browns, 9-5, still hold the number one spot in the wild card, still control their destiny, and still have a one-game lead. Your victory Monday, Locked On Browns continues. Your host, Jeff Lloyd, and don't you dare go anywhere. When you're hiring for your small business, you want to have as many top-tier candidates as possible to interview. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help find the right professionals for your team faster and for free. LinkedIn isn't just another job board. LinkedIn has a vast network of more than 1 million professionals, which makes it the best place to hire. Hiring is easy when you have that many quality candidates. So easy, in fact, that 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. LinkedIn knows that small businesses are wearing so many hats and might not have the time or resources to hire, and certainly cannot afford to miss on a hire. Thankfully, with LinkedIn, the process is intuitive, quick, and easy. They even just launched a feature that helps you write job descriptions, making the process even easier and quicker. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockdownnfl. That's linkedin.com/lockdownnfl to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. Cheers, Browns fans. We continue on here. I am your host, Jeff Lloyd, on Victory Monday on Locked On Browns. We appreciate all of you who make Locked On Browns your first listen every single day. And if you ain't in on the everyday party, well, you need to make a new plan, Stan. And the best plan to do is subscribe to Locked On Browns YouTube channel. Show is always available, always free, wherever you get your podcasts. Now, Joe Flacco, now I mentioned, for a lot of this, it seemed like, hey, maybe teams are starting to catch up a little bit. Maybe teams are starting to understand exactly what this offense is going to be. Maybe there's a little more tape now out on Joe Flacco. But some of the things he did today, The touchdown pass to Amari Cooper and even the deep ball to Amari Cooper earlier in the game, the deep ball to Marquisse Goodwin, letting a play develop, staying with it. And let's talk about that Njoku one towards the end. Joe Flacco has a rare arm strength trait that not a lot of quarterbacks in this league have. So when you see a quarterback retreat, it's normally a death sentence. It's an INT waiting to happen. It is a sack waiting to happen. It is a forced fumble waiting to happen. But when you've got that extra velo, when you've got just that little bit of extra juice, you can do some things that not everybody else in the league can do. And you saw a little more sidearmish today, arm angles from Joe Flacco. I mean, all of a sudden at 38 years old, he's starting to look like he's a second baseman or a shortstop with this type of stuff. Did that with Tillman, obviously. Shout out Cedric Tillman, 4 catches, 52 yards. We've talked so much about this young rookie receiver and how difficult it must be to develop when every time you go to that huddle, and it's a $230 million quarterback. Oh, wait, it's the kid you went to high school with. Oh, wait, it's a savvy veteran who's been in every league everywhere in PJ Walker. And then, oh, wait, it's a guy who's already won a Super Bowl ring, Joe Flacco. But yet, now Cedric Tillman strings together another positive week for himself. And this kid really, really showing some signs. Amari Cooper, David Njoku, you guys, they are what they are, and they do it very, very well. They're not trying to disguise anything. They're not trying to fool anything. The Browns are not trying to, throw things at people that they haven't seen. These guys are the same players that they've always been. And for everybody about the David Njoku and the contract extension, and you know what? For everybody else in the league who doesn't understand what a fantastic dual threat tight end this is, you need to check it, because David Njoku is a bona fide baller in the NFL. You do want to talk some negatives here. This tackle play, it's rough. It really was. Whether it's the penalties, whether it's not being able to seal anything in the run game. Look, these guys have done an admirable job to this point, Jerron Christian and James Hudson. So it's not to call them out. Obviously, it's just a bad day for the two of them. But you kind of knew maybe that was coming. Christian, obviously, Jerron Christian. Yeah, it's his, 6th, 7th start for this team right now. Wasn't even on the opening day roster. Wasn't even around for training camp. James Hudson, he's a great swing tackle. I don't know if we can feel the fact that he's a starting tackle in the NFL. So certainly some negatives there. And Jerome Ford, I don't want to say I'm critical sometimes. I think I try to understand what it is for Jerome Ford sometimes. And look, he can still contribute solid as a receiver. We know that. But I think there's a confidence level with Jerome Ford. He doesn't know necessarily that it's going to be there. And it's got to be a really tough spot to be in for a running back. And think about when he came in, obviously you were playing behind DeJuan Jones. You were playing behind Jedrick Wills, of course, Posick, certainly Joel Bitonio, certainly Wyatt Teller. So a lot's going on for the second-year running back. They tried to incorporate Pierre Strong today. The first screen pass, that would have been a nice 20-yard gain. Obviously, there was a hold on it, so he only ended up getting credit, I want to say, for maybe 7 or so. But trying to get that juice in there with Pierre Strong. But for Joe, this is just, I don't want to Disney movie. It almost gets that feel to it. This guy has gone from couch in South Jersey to probably the king of Cleveland right now. And we know in Cleveland, guys, you'll anoint somebody a king at any point. They could be king for a day, an hour, 5 minutes, 55 years. That's the way it goes. But Joe Flacco is right now a seriously beloved gentleman in Cleveland. And it just seems so crazy on its face to say. But this guy is going out there. He is giving it everything he has at 38 years old. He is taking this offense with him. And look, points-wise, yeah, they scored that much. But 300 yards back-to-back, I mean, I'm not even sure if this has been done during the Stefanski era. I'd be stunned if it certainly wasn't done by any quarterback that played for the Browns here in 2023. Maybe Bake did it at some point with Coach Stefanski. But Joe's just finding it. And for me, the thing I love, and you guys know this has been one of my biggest talking points of Coach Stefanski in his time here, and I have zero issues with Coach Kevin Stefanski. I would hand him the contract right now and say, write in your number, bro, because you brought something to this city, to this locker room, to this stadium, to this football team, to this franchise that has not been here. And I can say 7 years. And he has turned this team into a team. It's not a bunch of individuals. And the one weakness we've had is not being able to get the ball down vertically in the passing game. Well, when your quarterback is 6'6", 245, you kind of understand probably what his positive is and certainly fits to him. Amari Cooper fits right into that. Certainly Cedric Tillman, certainly Elijah Moore. And guess what? All of this creates so much open green grass underneath for number 85, the Chief, to work with. So 2 straight weeks for David Njoku. It's probably 16 receptions, 200 yards, 3 touchdowns. His touchdown catch. Are you kidding me? To be able to do that, hands, and hold it all the way down. Take the contact. Take the hit from the ground. And the whole time, that ball is there. And you see that ball almost like gasping for air as David Njoku was squeezing the daylights out of it. It was just an incredible day. And for this team to continue just to go on this path and all that they are dealing with, all the difficulties, all the injuries, and offensively, you got here. Let's just, we'll go to it real quick. So you got Coop today, obviously 4 catches, 109 yards, 51-yard touchdown, obviously huge one from Amari Cooper. David Njoku, 10 for 104, big one, the 34-yarder to seal it. Flacco dropping back, elevates it with just enough zip. Njoku catches it, circles 2060s the safety, gets on down, eventually set up would be the go-ahead field goal. Marquisse Goodwin, obviously a 57-yard reception, biggest play of his Cleveland Brown career. I'll bring up Tillman again. Obviously, it was 4 for 52. Moore, a quiet day, 2 for 17, but that's actually not too bad, seeing as the rest of the offense and the rest of the passing game got going. So just a phenomenal effort. Running the ball, 6 for 20 from Jerome Ford. Kareem, 7 for 8. Granted, most of those were just pounding it out, getting the ball down so you could set it for the game-winning field goal. It just special day here. And this team and everything they talk about and their belief within each other, and how much they respect each other, how hard they work for each other. And you get to a spot like this. You got Luke Whippler in there for his first NFL snap, as Evan Harris had to duck out, your second string center in for Posick. It's literally next man up. And look how far this can go. Everybody would love to talk Super Bowls, and maybe that's a little bit unrealistic with the amount of injuries this team is going through. But these guys just pound it in every day, whether it's in the practice field, whether it's in games. This team shows up, and they give everything they have. The game is never over in their eyes. 60 minutes. You say 60 minutes of football in the NFL, and you truly kind of mean it, 60 minutes. But the Browns, it has been 60 minutes almost every single week of this season. Cardiac kids, the big phrase from back in the day. There's a lot of cardiac going to this one with the Browns. But again, the Cleveland Browns victorious, now 9-5, number 1 wild card seed in the AFC with a 1-game lead. Your Locked On Browns Victory Monday continues on with your host Jeff Lloyd, and everybody stick around. As the weather gets colder, the NFL offers Stay Hot on FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is super easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. Victory Monday post-game Locked On Browns continues. Your 9-5 Cleveland Browns victorious today over the Chicago Bears 20-17. Hold Justin Fields to 166 yards passing, 19 of 40. You held him under 50% completions, and you held him at 166 yards. You had Denzel Ward playing mostly in nickel and dime, trying to preserve that shoulder. Greg Newsome, talk about a dude on a roll. And Greg Newsome has been that, man. And this is the thing with secondary play. This is the thing with defensive back play. You start to feel good about yourself. You start to make 1 play. Then all of a sudden it's 2. Then it's 3. Then you're making 2 tackles for loss, with Greg Newsome did today. You were also combining that with 2 passes defensed, like Greg Newsome did today. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, 2 tackles for loss, huge sack, a huge quarterback hit that obviously led to an incompletion from Justin Fields. Sione Takitaki filling in. Strong day for him. Ronnie Hickman ends the day with 4 solo tackles, 5 tackles total. Pass defense in his starting debut. DeAnthony Bell. Now, look, DeAnthony Bell's a great special teamer. The thought of DeAnthony Bell having to take serious reps for this defense scared the living daylights out of me. But DeAnthony Bell was out there today. And again, another one. 5 total tackles. 4 solo tackles. Pass defense, tackle for loss, and an interception. For real? You got this out of these guys. DeAnthony Bell. Hail Mary interception to close out the second half. Jeremiah Koromoa, interception to close the Hail Mary to close out the first half. Myles Garrett, and there were times today that Myles Garrett was just absolutely destroying people, and it was in Justin Fields' head as far as, am I throwing this around Myles just for an incompletion? Am I going to try to throw this through Myles? Am I praying to God that Myles is going to tip this to himself and take it to the house? Myles Garrett, whatever that shoulder injury was, it's getting better, and it's getting significantly better. The Browns, of course, get sacks from JOK. They get and Alex Wright. Alex Wright with a sack today. Alex Wright blowing up a crucial 3rd and 1 jet sweep, and then telling everybody, and to give it every confidence, man. That is what you're getting from these guys. You truly are. Harris, early in the game, Dalvin Tomlinson looked like Aaron Donald. He was absolutely unstoppable early in the game, splitting double teams, crushing Justin Fields, crushing running backs trying to block him, crushing running backs trying to run the ball. A great start. In this Browns defense, this would have been a rough one to be on the wrong end of today. Bears' 2 touchdowns came from a possession they had at the 1-yard line after an interception return. The other touchdown was an INT pick 6. It would have been a really, really difficult loss for this Browns defense today because Jim Schwartz just keeps dialing up. And you know what? He treats every guy on that field like, you're my guy. You're my starter. I'm not changing what I'm doing. We're going to do. Because what are you going to do if you're Jim Schwartz? Change what you're doing? Because you know what? This is what you practiced all year long. So you can't bring in these backups. You can't bring in a 3rd-string guy, 4th-string guy, 5th-string guy, and all of a sudden start saying, well, we're going to do it this way now. We're going to do it that way. Nobody's practiced that. They have practiced with an aggressive scheme the entire year. You start changing that now. Yeah, these guys know the playbook, but nobody knows that playbook. Nobody knows a passive Jim Schwartz playbook. It hasn't been the MO this entire season. So why would it be the MO now? So these guys just go out there and give it everything they had. And hats off to DeAnthony Bell. Hats off to Ronnie Hickman, Sione Takitaki, obviously. Mahmoud Diabate, a huge fumble recovery of the muff punt, which sadly did not turn into points, but it certainly had the opportunity. It was a big one. Browns had the ball to 20. Of course, we know that was Joe Flacco's 3rd interception. But defensively, this team, 2 weeks in a row now, man, they are giving it everything they had. No, you're not going to start holding teams to 100 yards this time of the year. You're playing good teams. You're playing teams with talent. So the expectation is not to absolutely decimate them, but the plan of action should be to contain them. And that is what the Browns defense has been doing. Been a miraculous day. 17-7, start the 4th quarter, pull off 13 unanswered. Field goal, touchdown, field goal. Hail Mary, DeAnthony Bell takes it away from Mooney, and the Browns walk off the Chicago Bears. 20-17, get that crucial 9th win. 3 games to go at Houston, home Jets, at Cincinnati. Cleveland Browns had a really, really good day. The Cleveland Browns played collectively. This team led by a general manager that finds quality free agents to bring in at any time to help this team out that's been dealing with a crippling amount of injuries. Coach Stanski looking around every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and saying, these are the guys we got this week. Let's see what we can do. We got to make dinner. Let's try to make something. And Jim Schwartz, and we all wanted to talk about all the defensive injuries. And it looks like the offensive line ones are the ones that are really going to be most difficult to come over the next few weeks, the offensive line injuries. But Jim Schwartz, down a lot of guys, down a lot of people. And as opposed to trying to be something he's not, says, this is my style. This is who I am. This is who I've always been. This is all who I will always ever be. Boys, go make it happen. And it continues to happen yet again for the Cleveland Browns. 9-5. Number one wild card seed in the AFC. 1 game lead over the field. Control their own destiny as far as the AFC wild card is concerned. I am Jeff Lloyd. I'm your host here at Locked On Browns. You guys all know this is my 7th season with you all. Special day. Special win. Game started sloppy. Weather broke. But just a really, really great win for your Cleveland Browns. I appreciate all of you who make Locked On Browns your first listen every single day. If you are not part of the everyday crowd, you got to get in, man. I've been trying to tell you all, but you need to get in and subscribe to Locked On Browns YouTube channel. Of course, the show is always available. It's always free wherever you get your podcasts. Your Cleveland Browns, 9-5, Victory Monday. We got a bunch coming throughout the week, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel. This has been your daily delivery of all things Dog Pound. LGB on ELOB. Let's go Browns.